like either way, I feel like it would be hard.
But it has to be less. But it has to be a little bit less hard.
I don't know. I mean, I've had guys say that it's taken them a long time to talk to a girl, and because they get afraid they're going to get the.
But at least they have that. I would say privacy of having to, what I mean, like walking up to a girl to her face in a Starbucks. You know what I mean? And then, there's going to be a little bit of people around, but you don't want her to leave and not say nothing. Whereas if you see like someone on Facebook or even like Instagram, like he won't have to have a bunch of eyes on him doing that.
I would say the only difference between those two things is that a guy that's online has more time than the guy who just met you.
Yes, that's my point.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying.
If he just met you off the street, he may not ever see
you.
Yeah,
I'm saying that some of the time,
but if he meets you online, he can look at your picture for 4 months.
Hi everybody, welcome back to our channel.
Before we get started, if you like what you're seeing, please like, share, and subscribe.
So we had a viewer question. Actually, this question was sent to us a little while back. I didn't forget about it, but we had other things in line. But I thought it was an interesting one. Is a male subscriber of ours, so thank you for the topic idea. He asked. He said, "What do we think that the uprise like in social media is ruining like relationships, people getting together? How is it messing up the dating scene?" I thought that was kind of interesting because I think that, what's funny with social media is that it's, we are so connected that we're kind of disconnected. Like, I know it's weird, but there's this thing where I think we've mentioned this a little bit before where I kind of miss that boy meets girl type thing where you're out and about. You have to be out to meet someone, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's a rare situation. Sometimes you get hooked up with your friends, like somebody's trying to, play matchmaker. I kind of miss that time. And I do think that, I don't think it's ruining it because there's some positive parts to this too. I don't think it's a ruining thing, but I do think that it's making us not work as hard, you know what I mean? In a way to, it's too many, like, I don't know if there's too many options or, well, man, it's not bad. It just kind of seems like people are, because of social media, they're kind of creating false life. So, and you can on social media, right? You just create what kind of life you want to. Then you meet these people. Sometimes there's not who they are. Do I think it's messing it up? Not entirely. I think that there's a good part of this because you get to, if you're in a situation like where you, like we are, you know what I mean? Where we don't like have like a humongous social life. But we want to meet people. We kind of do meet people like online. You are going to meet people online. I think, but people within the last 5 years, the people that I've met have all been honestly online from Facebook. It's a friend of friend or somebody not even. You know what I mean? So it's good that that option is there. You know what I mean? Because you can kind of broaden your scope of people, and also if you don't, like you can meet people from other parts of the world, especially if you want to move. Like we don't want to live in Indiana forever, so. Yeah. You can meet people from other places while you're still here, and then, So it's good and it's bad. I don't know if it's ruining it, but I do miss that boy. It's that boy meets girl thing that I kind of do miss. It's that old fashioned. I do love that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I think that it can make you complacent.
Because you don't have to work that.
Well, I think because I know a lot of people. My ex-boyfriend I met online.
Right.
I met him on Facebook. And I've had a couple of dates that I've met, on Facebook. But most of the people I don't ever meet.
Oh, I mean, like, yeah, no, that's true. That is true.
Like, there's a crap load of people that I meet online, but I never actually met them. You know what I mean? So I think that that's the difference. Like, you don't really ever meet. I don't really meet a lot of people. And if I do see them, like, sometimes it'll just be on accident. I'll be out, and I'll be like, oh, my Facebook friend.
Yeah.
But it's not like I purposely want to meet you beyond Facebook.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if I'm at the store and I see you, it's like, wow, I see you. You
right.
know? I think one time I had I had an Uber person who was my Facebook friend.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I noticed it was him because of the picture.
Yeah.
On his
Right, but was there a correspondence with saying, hey, here's the...
No.
Oh, he didn't know it was you.
No, I didn't know it was him either until I was like...
But he definitely didn't know it was you.
No, I didn't know it was him either until I was done.
Oh, okay.
So...
He's realized it.
I just realized it when I went to go tip him. I was like, oh, I know him.
See what I mean? See how this is...
But I mean, like, when I meet people on Facebook, I don't really care to meet people in person. It's not like... It's just Facebook. Like, you're not going to meet... You got like 800 friends. You're not going to meet all those people.
Well, the one thing I do like... The one thing I do like about the new way of doing things is that... So back in the day when you would meet somebody, you would have to... If you're interested in them or if you're... Not even if you're interested, but like, most of the time people give away their phone number. Sometimes people give away fake numbers. I wasn't really a fake number type girl. Like, you know... If I want to give you time of day, I'm not going to play that game. I'm going to give you time of day. But when you think about it, you have to give out your phone number to a lot of people. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like back then. And now it just seems there's that I'm saying wall, but there's kind of that fence that's kind of like, okay, I can see you. We can talk a little bit, but you don't have to have my number. You don't have to know where I live. You know, all that don't have to happen yet. Right. You know what I mean? So I do kind of like that aspect of it, which makes me understand why online dating, like the Match.com and all those different ones that Christian singles and black people meet, you know, Plenty of Fish, why they all do so well.
I mean, online dating is people you wouldn't have met otherwise.
Yeah.
So
you
it's like...
put a profile and then they match the profiles.
You wouldn't have met someone from Cincinnati if you're from Chicago, you know.
Right.
If you're like from Chicago.
But what if you guys see these stories now where I'm like, wow, you know, they met somebody from across the pond and, you know, and that it ended up being a perfect match. So the good part about it is that it's just the aspect of how broad it is.
I mean, again, for young people, it's not anything.
Right.
This is their decade. So they don't see it as it doesn't matter to them because they're young and this is just they were born into it.
Social media is the way they correspond with each other.
Anyway, so they've been doing it since they were little kids. But for people that were used to giving out your phone number and things like that, it's weird when you know the other side.
Yeah,
see,
I know.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's what it is with people who are over the age of 40 is that they remember you know the new way, but you also remember the old way. The new people who are under 40, they really don't remember.
Yeah,
because people in their 30s were kids.
Yeah,
when this was, they don't really remember anything else. You know what I mean? So when, like I'm saying, like when you met people on the street, like most of those people most of the people under 40 would have been like 8 years old. But if you're over 40, you remember dating and going to the mall and meeting people there and going to, you know, things, you know, like right now, even with the pandemic, it's changed things. Yeah. Like people are doing drive-by baby showers. Yeah. And see what I'm saying? Like we're becoming more and more disconnected. It seems like as the years go by. And it's just like everyone's like, you know, we didn't know a pandemic was going to happen. I was like, yeah, but see how everything, it seems like that's just the universe. So like I said, the universe is separating us more and more.
That's what we all the time.
And it's just like, it's the same thing that I feel about even like buying stuff. It's like we don't go to stores anymore. Yeah, we don't go touch things anymore. We don't go and...
But what I'm saying, but what do you prefer? Like, what do you prefer? Like, do you like that? Or not?
No,
not like it, but
I don't think it's bad or good, like you said. I think that it's just... different. I don't really prefer it either way because whoever you meet, whenever you meet them, it won't matter. You'll like them. Right. You know what I mean? But I would say that I think with online there's traps like there would be any other time. Yeah. People lie when you meet them on the street. Right. You know, they lie about who they are, how much. Yeah,
that's another part of it. That you don't know what people.
You don't know who anybody is until you really know them. I would say Facebook has that thing where you can call someone and not actually. Really I don't know if I like that either. I don't like people calling me when I.
They don't see your number, but they can just call you.
And I don't like that. You know what I mean? Because that
can you turn it off? Sorry,
I'm sure you probably could. I don't know. But I just don't answer the phone. I don't like when people call me. And
I would never do that. I would never call somebody. Like if I'm interested in somebody, I would never just call somebody. Actually, anybody. Right. I would never just call somebody just because I'm able to. Right. You know what I mean? Like I'm not going to do that.
So I think the only downside with me in online dating is that I'm getting bored with being online. And so after a while, I don't know if I'm going to be able to meet anybody online because I'm honestly sick of all this Facebook stuff. Like I don't even go on Facebook anymore.
Yeah, we took a big hiatus from
like I'm still there though. Like I like it. I don't even want to be on Facebook. I don't want to be on Instagram. I'm over it. I'm sick of it. You know what I mean? And so I think that is the difference. You know what I mean? Like I kind of want to like go to coffee houses and.
But see, this is what I
kind of like going to coffee only because I want to get out. I want to meet people. I want to meet people face to face, and then also, you know, I think when you meet people, especially even for guys, and they see women up close, the same for us. We want to see you too. Yeah. And I think the pictures can be manipulated and things like that. Even if you don't do, the manipulation of the picture, you can put in different angles. You look different.
You look different.
You know what I mean? So
I'm always very clear. You know what's funny is that if I meet somebody, I've met 2 people in person from online, and both of them were told we had the same conversation, and both guys told me, when they saw me, they were like, "Oh, thank God you look like your picture." Right? Because I'm always very just especially when I'm just talking to them on the phone and stuff. I'm really upfront about the way that I look. I understand pictures can be like you were saying. Right. You want to take your best shot, your best angle, like that. But I've never had a guy.
Yeah, but it takes the pressure away. I think
I've never had a guy be like,
because
"Oh my God."
Facebook pictures people are anxiety driven with taking photos because everybody wants likes and everything. And I think when you meet someone online, I think that's for a lot of people. I know I've had women tell me that, "Oh, I hate when you meet," kind of makes you feel more nervous because what if he doesn't think you look as good as the picture because of the lighting? I was like, right, this is why I like meeting people in person. Because what if that does happen? You know what I mean?
Well, one of the guys I dated,
but even you, what if you meet a guy, he doesn't look the same?
Right. One of the guys I dated, he told me, he said, I said, "You have a problem? Do you have a hard time with that where you meet women and they're not what their appearance is and not." He said, "Yeah, you don't want to be an asshole about it and be like, you don't look like you did in your picture like that." I'm like, but it is kind of like they false advertise basically, right? So,
or you just look different in the picture.
Yeah, one guy told me that he said the woman that showed up didn't she took an older picture of her. It was she posted a picture from her 10 years ago, and he was like, "Hey, 10 years ago, cameras were fine. They started looking kind of notice. It didn't look like." If someone posts a picture from 20 years ago, you're going to notice that. Yeah. But 10 years ago, you can kind of fudge that a little bit. You won't really know. And he's like, when I met her, I was like, "Oh, she doesn't look anything like she said. Like, she looked anything like she said. Or, like what I saw." And he's like, "So it's kind of like nerve-wracking." I said, "Well, both people that I've met, I've FaceTime. When I did like that Skype thing, and then I FaceTime, so that way you can see. So that's what I'm saying. If you go on a date online, you got to do that at some point when you start getting kind of like you like them, like you probably want to go ahead and click on that.
I mean, I think that
Catfish will let you know.
I think the one thing it does help. Like there was a guy who said that he said he does like online dating because you can kind of know if a woman has more kids than he wants to deal with.
Yeah, that's
he's
true.
like, because women always take pictures with their children and stuff. He's like, so she has 4 or 5 children. I don't want that. I don't want to have to break your heart by saying I don't want to deal with that. I can just clearly see it and ignore it. And then, I've heard women say things like, well, if he doesn't have a college education, or if I can see his friends, people take pictures with their friends. Yeah. You can see kind of friends they have, what I mean? She's like, and then I can kind of ignore it. But, when you meet people on the street, you don't know until you meet them. Right. So I can understand that. You know what I mean? You can kind of, that's a positive, I think, when it comes to online dating. But other than that, I think that either way, you're kind of blinded because everybody's going to give you, everybody's going to give their best face. Even if you meet them in the flesh, they're not going to give you, there have been guys I've dated, I like them the first date, second date, they change. Because they're tired of playing the role. And you know what I mean? And so I'm like, what I thought. I like the role. See how you need to be honest? Because if you like the role,
you say I like the role.
They're sick of playing the game, and I was like, right, I like the game. I like the game person better. But since you're not that, you lied to me, so I don't want to see you anymore. You know what I mean? But I think for me, the only downside I could say about online is I'm sick of being online.
Well, because so are you open to not just Facebook? I'm not on literally paying a website to have your profile. Are you in that point yet?
No.
I don't feel like I'm at that point yet either. Someone asked me about this, asked us about this, about online dating.
I don't have any problems with it. I just don't feel like I'm there. I feel like
the whole thing.
I mean, first of all, I get asked out a lot. So for me, it's just I don't feel like, and they're not bad guys. Yeah. They're not bad guys. I'm just not seriously dating. Yeah. If I was seriously dating, I probably have a husband right now. Yeah. But I'm not seriously dating right now. So I don't feel like in order for me to do that, I have to be okay, I'm on a mission. Yeah. I want to get married. But I'm not in a place where I'm I must get married by next year or something. You know what I mean? I kind of feel like I'm just organically.
That's the thing I'm looking for. So even if it's online, I'm still wanting to be somewhat organic. So when you meet guys and when you meet people, what I do like is I do think it makes kind of men less lazy when it comes to how they approach you and stuff. You know what I mean? when the man has to meet you off the street, you know, like when you're out and about, grocery store or whatever, coffee shop, or, you know, they have to like muster up courage to do that, you know what I mean? And then it's like, it's just something about it is very attractive to me, for someone to have to walk up to you and then talk to you.
Well, I guess it could still be kind of hard though if they have the inbox. I mean, that is tough.
No, I'm not
like either way. I feel like it would be hard.
But it has to be less. But you know, it has to be a little bit less hard.
I don't know. I mean, I've had guys say that it's taken them a long time to talk to a girl, and because they get afraid they're going to get the.
But at least they have that. I would say privacy of having to, you know what I mean? Like walking up to a girl to her face in a Starbucks, and then, you know, there's going to be a little bit of people around, you know, but you don't want her to leave. You're not saying nothing if you like her because you don't see, you know what I mean? Whereas if you see like someone on Facebook or even like Instagram, like he can have that conversation with himself, and then like, you know, it's like more of a not putting on a show. He won't have to have a bunch of eyes on him doing that. If you're a guy who's weird, some not weird, but if you're a guy who's uncomfortable.
I would say the only difference between those two things is that a guy that's online has more time than the guy who just met you.
Yes, that's my point.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying,
if he just met you off the street, he may not ever see you.
I'm saying that some about the time.
But if he meets you online, he can look at your picture for 4 months,
which I think is I think it's something that's attractive.
But even I think also time can make you more nervous. Because if you take 4 months to do that, you can build it up and make yourself even more nervous.
Yeah. Right.
Kind of like taking off a Band-Aid.
Which is why I kind of like the idea of a guy just coming. Whenever I meet men, first of all, I do meet men. It's quite a few men, you know what I mean, that are out when I'm out and about. But it's I don't know, men are different these days because they a lot of men like our age, like I'm in my 40s. I noticed that a lot of men in their 40s, some of them, not all, but a lot of them are trying to come at you like they're young, like the young guys talk. You know what I mean? Like the way the young guys come. I'm like, no, I kind of just like the basic, hi, how are you doing? I saw you over there. You know, and it's going to the conversation. But a lot of times the guys are not like that. They're very...
and it could be because a lot of older women date younger men.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, I like I said before, I think that there are a lot more older women dating younger men than there are older men dating younger women these days. With our generation. I think that's true. With our parents' generation, I think more older men dated younger women. But I feel like a lot of men our age are dating their own age.
I have a lot of friends.
I mean, I get asked about men that are my age. Yeah. You know what I mean? Maybe a little older, like 49 or so. But that's in my bracket. So, you know what I mean? But a lot of my friends that are my age, they date.
Yeah, I was going to say that too.
You know, 29-year-olds. And so maybe these older guys think that they have to talk like that. True. Because they think that they're interested in younger. Now, me, I can't date a young guy. Yeah. So if you start talking to me like that, I'm either going to laugh inside or I'm just going to like turn you down. Yeah. Because I don't like immaturity like that. To me, I like just a man.
Dating is very touch and go anyways. You know what I mean? So I don't know if it's social media is ruining it, because no matter what, once you're on the date and with somebody, you still have to do the same stuff. You still have to try to, you know what I mean? That's still that kind of song and dance you gotta do anyways. But there is kind of like a little bit of a disconnect. It's a little bit of a disconnect because they're not really having to meet like you used to. So you have to hide, you're kind of behind a wall first, and then you meet, there's a couple extra steps you got to take, you know. First they do the inbox, and then they, you know, you talk a little bit in the inbox, and then you have to, you know, eventually get their phone number if you're interested. And if, you know, a lot of times we don't meet up, it's sometimes we're not in the same state anymore. So then you have to do like the Skype or whatever, FaceTime. So it's like all these extra steps. Whereas before it was just like, okay, well, I met you here, and then you can call me later and we'll go and have a date at 8 o'clock. Yeah. You know, it's kind of like how it was. Something about the simplicity of that process to me, I just liked better. But I'm not against the new one either.
Yeah. And sometimes I think like social media can be a flirtation fest. Yeah. Where a lot of people don't even really want to meet. They just like to test they just like to have fun. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I think some guy, there are people, like I said, there are people I've had on my Facebook page for 7 years, and I've never actually met them. You know what I mean?
That you were interested in? Or
no,
interested
not
in you?
really. But you know, they say nice things to me and they flirt with me a little bit. But we never really met. You know what I mean?
I met one guy.
I've actually, my ex-boyfriend I met on Facebook. Yeah. So I just feel like, you know, sometimes you do connect with people. But I just think that there is this sort of feeling, I think, the one thing that we didn't have before is that you can know someone out without knowing them. You know what I mean? Like the idea of knowing someone for so long and never had met them really.
Yeah.
And back in the day, you didn't have that. You either knew someone in the flesh. Like most of my friends I knew on my Facebook page, I know a lot, were high school friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I know them. I met them before. We've had a rapport. But then there are people that you met on Facebook you never met. And if you ever do meet them, it's going to be weird because it's like, oh my God, I've known you for 2 years, but I don't know you.
Yeah. It asks us about all the time about have we ever done online dating. I think you have to go with your gut. I have met people online where I don't feel like I will be able to be comfortable. Something within you that's your compass that tells you if something's odd, and that's you have to listen to that. Listen to that. I think that it's a good thing because you can meet people from all different parts of the world and not just your little world. Yeah. You know what I mean? I think
people who are seriously dating would do that.
Yeah,
but
and I was seriously dating. Yeah,
so. If you were seriously dating, you would do that. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with online dating. I mean, most cultures do matchmakers. Yeah. So. I mean, most other cultures do matchmakers all over the world, you know what I mean, where you don't meet, a person helps you. Yeah. And that's all online dating is. It's the medium to help you meet other people. Yeah. You know what I mean? Especially if you're in a city where it's not a lot of dating opportunities. Like, if you're in an area like, I guess, like Indianapolis, where it's mostly families, so the dating scene is not like New York, where there's a lot of single people. Yeah. But either way, it doesn't matter where you live. You can run into anybody anywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
I mean, online is just another one. Right. It's another way.
It's just another way.
You just have to pay.
Right.
Or you can just go on Facebook. Yeah. And I actually think Facebook is now doing it.
Facebook does have a...
They just added it. It's like they had like this earlier this year. It's like a dating app. You can sign up for it. Yeah. Because they realized probably all this time they've been hooking up people and they could have been making some money off this.
Why the hell would you do that in the beginning? Facebook was originally that. It was for college kids. Facebook originally was with Mark... Well, you know, it's a whole
thing
where
the twins.
Yeah, the twins had the whole dating. That was what they were doing. They were going to date on. There's the dating site for the campus dating site, and then Mark took it to a whole nother level, and then here we are. So I don't know.
You can meet people from other countries.
Yeah. If I were to have it my way, I would probably prefer to do it the old-fashioned way. And just meet somebody.
Yeah, but like you said, everything we do, our shopping online, we do everything else, no one leaves home.
So it won't be,
you know what I mean? So nobody's leaving home. That's the problem. It's just like we do everything indoors. And now with COVID, no one's going anywhere. So it's just like, so now it's like online really steps up as a way to meet people because no one ever wants to leave home now because you don't have to. You can literally sit home and do everything. Yeah. And most people do. Most people, like even men, they gaming and, you know, doing gaming, shopping. And no one ever wants to get out and do stuff. Maybe for a little while. But most people are mostly plugged up into a phone, a computer. And so I don't know. Like I said, I think that for me it would be a little harder only because I'm just over. Yeah, I'm getting a little sick of social media. Yeah,
but if you're talking about if you're talking about the social media, people creating a persona of themselves. There's the part where meeting the old-fashioned way and the new way. That's one part of it, but also there's a separate issue where people pretend to be something they're not. And if you're talking about if that's ruining things, then I would say yes, because I mean that can happen to you meet somebody too, but it's worse now because it's much worse because people can literally just make it look like they have a whole life. You can change the way your background looks. You can make it look like you've been to Greece, Paris. You can change everything. You know what I mean? You can just, I've heard these stories where people are like, he said he's been around the world and never left his little hometown in Oklahoma. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, yeah, that part is a huge, you have to, whatever you do in dating, you're going to have some type of trust. You know what I mean? First, you got to trust your gut, and then you're going to have to, you know what I mean? Don't always believe everything you see. That's one thing. But there has to be you never get anywhere if you don't really, if you're always suspicious of somebody. Yeah. So at some point you let down the wall, but there are people out there you can tell they're just lying. Yeah. A lot of people do this. Where like on their bio, they have different, I'm a poet, I'm a real estate agent, I'm a actor, I'm a, those people, red flag. Yeah. Now, I'm not trying to hate on anybody that's all of those things, but there is something very it's pretentious, but it's very forceful to be shown, saying all of that in your bio, that all of your jobs are all of those. And I know I met a couple of people who've done that, and they were just one of those things. You know what I mean?
Career has been a big thing for people these days.
Yeah.
Because everybody wants to be the boss.
Everybody wants to be the boss.
I mean, I saw a picture the other day of a girl. I did check in on Facebook, and a friend of one of my Facebook, and she has her shirt all the way unbuttoned halfway, and she's sitting in front of a computer with her glasses, trying to look like a boss woman. Like nice. And she could see all her cleavage. She's spilling out of her shirt, and this is like an image she's trying to put. She's trying to look more important than she probably feels. You know what I mean? And I think that on that on that aspect, probably it would be different. On the other hand, though, if you don't have good self-esteem, I think that's the most important thing, because let me tell you, every guy I dated was before social media, and I had not married. Yeah. So and I chose bad people offline. Right. So I think that it all comes to who you are as a person, and knowing who you are, being happy with who you are, and not feeling like someone's supposed to come in and change who you are, and they got to be perfect too. You know what I mean? Like, do you want to date someone like a guy that has like a good job and has like you do, but at the end of the day, what's gonna matter is how you two feel with each other, right? Because things change all the time. People lose jobs. People, expand at a certain time. There was a guy the other day that said he wanted, like I said, he wanted to meet some girl before he's successful. I'm like, but what if you don't?
Yeah, then what?
So what? You're just not going to date? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about? Like, these are just things people say just to say. Right. You know what I mean? So I think no matter how you meet someone, or, you have to know who you are.
Yeah, that's the one part of it.
You got to be okay with leaving people and calling out bullshit.
If you don't know who you are when you're dating, period. When you're even just thinking about flirting, like I'm talking about from jump. Like, if you're not knowing who you are, and if you're not, because I know Karen was saying before, a long time ago, when I dated a bunch of jerks, I was ignoring red flags, not trusting my gut, and always having that feeling like this is not a good person. Right. But I just ignored that and went out with them anyways. Okay, that wasn't online. That was just me meeting somebody. And I met jerks, you know what I mean? And I was going out with them. So I just think that there has to be some level of self-esteem that you have to have.
But I wasn't always 100% either.
That's what I'm talking about. I didn't have a level of self-esteem. So that's why I was meeting bad people.
If you meet people online and you're trying to fulfill some sort of fantasy of having it all, and then you try to meet someone who looks like that, and then you see them doing what you're doing, trying to create a look, you can attract that. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's why you got to just be yourself.
But now that I'm more secure, though, I feel like now that I'm just like a secure person, I know who I am, I know what I want, pay attention to red flags and stuff. Like, I feel like now the men that I meet and the men that I, press ignore on or don't pay attention to, those guys I know now. I can see it before it would take me weeks and weeks and months to even be like, oh, no, it's a bad guy. Now I can just kind of tell that it is. I can trust my gut now. And so when I meet people now, they're all really good. It just doesn't match. It wasn't match made.
I'm just saying, in general, if you're someone who dates online, I can kind of tell, even if I'm not dating, even if it's a woman and she's just a friend of mine.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I can tell when people are just trying too hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When people are trying too hard, it's because you can see that they're trying to, I think when, and even in life, when you meet someone and there's too much, like, to the answer to the guy's question, I don't think that it's different. I don't think it's worse. I think it's just different. I think that you still are going to meet jerks and women who aren't nice, women who aren't nice in the flesh or even online. I think it really just depends. At the end of the day, it always depends on how you receive people. If you accept an asshole for too long, or you don't observe because you're wanting something more than you're wanting something that's real, you know what I mean? Then you'll fall for these people who try to portray an image. I can always tell when people are image driven. Me too. Because everything they do is about their work, their kids' grades. They're always trying to project the best parts of their life. And when people do that all the time, even people just take pictures every day. It's just like, if you're always doing that, there's a part of you that's lacking somewhere in your real life.
Oh, have you ever met people who are like, it's like they're like walking picture quotes. Everything they say is such a philosophical quote of all of, I'm not saying people can't be philosophical. I love philosophy. I think it's great. I feel very philosophical sometimes, but there's these people where it's like, okay, you're laying it on a little thick. Like I can totally tell that you are trying to portray an image and you're trying to make me believe that you're a certain way. And when I'm just wanting to ask you who you are and meet you as you are.
And sometimes it's not a facade. There are guys that I know who actually are doing well financially, but they don't have anything else, so they portray that
I know
a lot. Like so it's like they're doing well, and they actually really are, but they only want you to see that. Look at what I'm driving. Look at this. And it's true. They really do have all this stuff, but I see that in life. I meet guys, it seems like every day, that are trying too hard.
Yeah. Well, you know what I mean? Because but see, that's another part of it though, the celebrity thing, because people are now wanting to, the celebrity culture, people want what they want to portray that image of grand. I have this, I have that, I'm so successful. And success is kind of quiet. You know what I mean? It's loud in the sense that you don't have to you don't have to go and shove it all in everybody's face. You can just see it. So if you're over there overdoing it, then I feel like you're lacking somewhere else. So even if you are successful with your job, you're successful financially, that's great and fine and well. I know people like that.
I mean, insecurity is loud whether you're loud or quiet.
Right.
If you're really quiet and you're insecure, you can see it. If you're really loud and you're insecure, you can see it. You know
but,
what I mean?
If you're insecure too, you're not going to see it.
Right.
You're not going to want to see it. So that's what I'm saying. So when you're dating, you really do have to be secure. Because that security is what's going to get you to be able to see that gut thing I'm telling you about. Where you can see the con. Like I can see the con immediately now. You guys done online dating before? Are you guys doing that now? Let us know what you think about that. I'm kind of curious to know. And that's it. If you guys have any topic ideas or questions, go ahead and drop a comment below, or you can email us. I'll put the email here, and we will respond back to you. And we also have some new subscribers, so thank you guys for subscribing. Again, we upload every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11 a.m. Thank you guys so much for watching. Everybody have a really good day. Bye.